The massive alien ship hung in space above Earth like a dark storm cloud. Its hull stretched for miles, covered in strange symbols that glowed with a cold blue light. Inside the ship, Ambassador Veltar stood before a large screen showing the planet below. His 6 eyes studied the world with obvious disgust. "Another primitive world," Veltar said to his aide. "Look at them. They still burn fuel to reach their own moon. They fight wars with simple explosives. This will be easy." The aide nodded quickly. "Yes, Ambassador. Our scouts report they only discovered faster-than-light travel 20 years ago. They barely have 100 ships capable of leaving their solar system." Veltar clicked his claws together in amusement. The Galactic Confederation had conquered thousands of worlds over the past 1,000,000 years. They had a simple system that always worked. Find a new species, study them, then either make them servants or destroy them completely. There was never a third option. "Send the message," Veltar ordered. "Give them the standard warning. Surrender in 72 hours or face complete destruction." On Earth, Commander Taeho Kim sat in his office deep inside the Global Defense Command Center. He was a tall man with gray hair and tired eyes. He had fought in 3 wars during his 40 years of military service, but nothing had prepared him for this moment. The alien message played on his screen for the 5th time. The translation was clear and terrifying. Surrender or die. Become slaves or become extinct. The alien spoke in a calm voice, as if he was ordering lunch instead of threatening an entire planet. Dr. So-Young Park entered the office without knocking. She was the smartest person Kim had ever met, and also the most dangerous. Her job was to study alien species and find ways to defeat them. She had been preparing for this day since humans first learned they were not alone in the universe. "They think we are helpless," Dr. Park said, sitting down across from Kim. "Their message contains detailed scans of our military. They believe our most advanced ships are the ones we use for peaceful exploration." Kim leaned back in his chair. "And they are wrong." Dr. Park smiled, but it was not a happy smile. "Very wrong. They have no idea what we have been building in secret. They see our exploration ships and think that is all we have. They do not know about the Ghost Fleet." The Ghost Fleet was humanity's greatest secret. For 20 years, while humans explored space and made peaceful contact with other species, they had also been preparing for war. Hidden shipyards in deep space had been building weapons that no alien had ever seen. Ships that could become invisible. Weapons that could bend space itself. Artificial intelligence that could think faster than any living brain. "How many ships are they bringing?" Kim asked. 50,000, Dr. Park replied. "Their largest standard invasion force. Against most species, that would be enough to destroy entire star systems." Kim stood up and walked to his window. Outside, he could see the city continuing its normal life. People went to work, children played in parks, and nobody knew that in 3 days, an alien fleet would arrive to destroy everything they had ever known. "Call General Cho," Kim said. "Tell her to activate Protocol Omega." Dr. Park's eyes widened. Protocol Omega was the code name for humanity's secret defense plan. It would reveal every hidden weapon, every secret ship, every advanced technology that humans had developed. Once activated, there would be no going back. The galaxy would learn that humanity was not the primitive species they appeared to be. General Hyojin Cho received the message while inspecting the new recruits at the Mars training facility. She was a small woman with sharp eyes and a reputation for never backing down from a fight. She had earned her rank by being smarter and tougher than everyone around her. "Are you certain?" she asked Kim over the secure communication link. "The aliens have made their choice," Kim replied. "They want war. We will give them war." General Cho nodded and turned to her aide. "Send the activation codes to all commanders. Ghost Fleet is now operational. Begin Phase 1 immediately." Across the solar system, things began to change. Near Jupiter, what appeared to be empty space suddenly filled with massive ships as their stealth systems deactivated. Hidden bases on asteroids opened their doors, revealing weapon platforms that had been disguised as mining equipment. On Earth's moon, entire sections of the surface moved aside, showing missile batteries that could strike targets across the galaxy. Captain Dongwoo Lee sat in his fighter cockpit aboard the carrier ship Incheon. His squadron was known as the Wolfpack, and they were the best pilots in the human fleet. They had trained for this moment their entire lives, but they had never expected it to come so soon. "All pilots, this is Wolf Leader," Dongwoo said into his radio. "The aliens think we are easy prey. Today we show them why humans survived the Ice Age, the Plague Years, and 2 world wars. We do not give up, we do not surrender, and we do not lose." His pilots responded with quiet confidence. They had studied the alien ships and knew their weaknesses. More importantly, they understood something the aliens did not. Humans did not fight like other species. Other species followed rules and traditions in battle. Humans adapted, improvised, and used every trick they could think of to win. Meanwhile, Ambassador Veltar was reviewing the final invasion plans. His fleet would arrive in precisely 71 hours and 36 minutes. The humans would see the size of the force and surrender immediately. It always happened that way. Show overwhelming power and even the bravest species would give up rather than face extinction. "Ambassador," his aide said nervously, "our long-range sensors are detecting some unusual energy readings from the human solar system." Veltar waved a dismissive claw. "Probably their pathetic attempts to hide their few warships. It makes no difference. We could destroy their entire fleet with a single battleship." What Veltar did not know was that his scouts had only seen what humans wanted them to see: the exploration ships, the peaceful space stations, the simple mining operations. They had no idea that humanity had spent 2 decades preparing for exactly this moment. Dr. Park stood in the command center, watching screens that showed the true size of the human fleet. 2,000 ships were now moving into position. Each one was equipped with technology that would terrify the aliens if they knew it existed. Weapons that could tear holes in space, shields that could survive the explosion of a star, and most dangerous of all, artificial intelligence that could learn and adapt faster than any alien computer. They wanted to see what humans could do in a fight, Dr. Park said quietly. They are about to find out. The countdown had begun. In less than 3 days, the galaxy would learn why humanity was the only species to survive multiple extinction events on their homeworld. The aliens were expecting to fight primitive warriors with simple weapons. Instead, they were about to face the most dangerous predator the galaxy had ever seen. Admiral Ji-Woo Yoon stood on the bridge of the stealth ship Busan, watching her tactical display with satisfaction. Around her ship, empty space suddenly came alive as dozens of human vessels dropped their invisibility shields. What had appeared to be vacuum now revealed the largest fleet humanity had ever assembled. "All ships report ready, Admiral," her communications officer announced. "Ghost Fleet is fully operational." Ji-Woo nodded. The Ghost Fleet was humanity's answer to superior numbers. If the aliens brought 50,000 ships, humans would make sure those ships never knew what hit them. Every vessel in her fleet was equipped with stealth technology that made them invisible to all known detection methods. They could appear anywhere, strike without warning, and vanish before the enemy could respond. "Signal from Earth Command," the officer continued. "The alien scout force has entered Jupiter space. Estimated strength 2,000 ships." Ji-Woo smiled grimly. The aliens were sending scouts to examine human defenses before their main attack. It was standard military procedure for most species. Unfortunately for them, humans did not follow standard procedures. "Contact Captain Lee," Ji-Woo ordered. "Tell him his squadron is cleared for Operation First Strike." Captain Dongwoo Lee received the message while performing final checks on his fighter. His ship looked simple from the outside, like the basic fighters humans used for patrol duties. The aliens had seen these ships during peaceful encounters and dismissed them as primitive. That was exactly what humans wanted them to think. "Wolfpack, this is Wolf Leader," Dongwoo announced to his squadron. "We have been given the honor of drawing first blood. Remember your training. These aliens have never fought humans before. They do not know our capabilities or our tactics." His 12 fighters launched from the carrier and headed toward the alien scout fleet. To enemy sensors, they would appear to be a small patrol trying to intercept a vastly superior force. The aliens would expect the humans to retreat or call for help. Instead, They were about to learn why human fighters were the most feared weapons in the solar system. Colonel Minho Kang sat in the command center of Titan Base, humanity's most secret military installation. Hidden beneath the ice of Saturn's largest moon, the base contained weapons that could destroy entire fleets. But Colonel Kang's favorite weapon was information. "Sir, we are intercepting alien communications," his intelligence officer reported. "They are laughing at our response. They think 12 fighters against 2,000 ships is either bravery or stupidity." "Let them think that," Colonel Kang replied. "Dr. Song, are the new weapons ready for field testing?" Dr. Yunji Song looked up from her computer terminal. She was the youngest person ever to lead a major weapons project and also the most brilliant. Her latest creation was something no alien had ever encountered. "The AI combat system is fully active," she reported. "Each fighter is now linked to our quantum computer network. The pilots are not just flying their ships anymore. They are connected to an artificial intelligence that can predict enemy movements before the aliens even know what they are going to do." This was humanity's secret advantage. While other species built better engines or stronger weapons, humans had learned to make their machines think. Not just follow orders, but actually think and adapt like living creatures. The alien scouts were about to face fighters that could learn and evolve during the battle itself. Dongwu felt the connection activate as his fighter approached the enemy fleet. Suddenly his mind was flooded with information. He could see every alien ship, predict their movements, and understand their tactics before they used them. It was like having the knowledge of 1,000 experienced pilots all at once. "Wolfpack, engage the enemy," he ordered, but his squadron was already moving. The AI system had coordinated their attack perfectly. The alien commander, fleet leader, Korvax, watched the human fighters approach with amusement. 12 small ships against his force of 2,000. It would be over in seconds. He would destroy them quickly and continue toward Earth to begin the real battle. "All ships, eliminate the human fighters," Korvax ordered. "Show them the power of the Confederation." What happened next defied everything the aliens thought they knew about combat. The human fighters did not attack in formation like civilized species. Instead, they moved like a pack of wild animals, each one supporting the others in ways that seemed impossible to coordinate. Dongwu's fighter dove between two alien cruisers, firing weapons that tore through their shields like paper. Before they could respond, he was already gone, appearing behind a different ship. His wingman attacked from above while another fighter struck from below. The aliens found themselves trying to fight opponents who seemed to know their every move before. "They made it. This is impossible," Korvax shouted as he watched his ships explode around him. "How are they doing this?" His tactical officer was studying the scanner readings in disbelief. "Sir, the human ships are not following any known combat patterns. They appear to be adapting their tactics in real time. Every time we adjust our formation, they immediately counter it." Dr. Song watched the battle from her command center, monitoring the AI system's performance. The artificial intelligence was learning from every alien tactic, every weapon, every movement. With each passing second, the human fighters became more effective. "Remarkable," she said to Colonel Kang. "The AI is not just following our programming. It is creating new combat strategies that we never taught it." This was what made human artificial intelligence different from alien computers. Other species built machines to follow orders. Humans built machines to think for themselves. The alien scouts were fighting not just 12 pilots, but an intelligence that combined human creativity with computer speed. Within minutes, half the alien scout fleet was destroyed. The survivors tried to retreat, but the human fighters pursued them relentlessly. Dongwu's squadron moved through space like sharks in water, destroying everything they encountered. "Wolf leader to all units," Dongwu announced. "No survivors. We cannot let them report back to their main fleet." This was another difference between humans and other species. Most civilized races would allow defeated enemies to escape. Humans understood that in a war for survival, mercy was a luxury they could not afford. Admiral Jiwoo watched the battle from her command ship, analyzing every detail. The scout fleet's destruction was just the beginning. Soon the main alien force would arrive, expecting to find a primitive human defense. Instead, they would encounter weapons and tactics that would shatter everything they believed about warfare. "Signal all ships," she ordered. Phase 2 is now active. Begin moving. The Ghost Fleet into final positions. Across the solar system, invisible ships moved like silent hunters. The aliens thought they were bringing overwhelming force to crush a weak enemy. They had no idea they were flying into the most carefully planned trap in galactic history. Real battle was about to begin, and humanity was ready to show the galaxy why they were the ultimate survivors. The main Confederation fleet dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of Earth's solar system, like a metal storm. 50,000 ships of various sizes spread across space in perfect formation. Ambassador Veltar stood on his flagship's bridge, confident that victory was only hours away. "Status report on our scout fleet," Veltar demanded. His communications officer looked nervous. "Sir, we have lost contact with Fleet Leader Korvax and his entire force. Their last transmission was a distress call from Jupiter space." Veltar's eyes narrowed. "Lost contact? Define lost contact." "Complete signal loss, Ambassador. All 2,000 ships appear to have been destroyed." The bridge fell silent. Veltar stared at the tactical display showing Earth's position. How could a primitive species destroy 2,000 advanced warships? It should have been impossible. Perhaps they had hidden defenses, his tactical officer suggested. Many species build fortress worlds with massive weapon platforms. "Then, we destroy those platforms first," Veltar decided. "Order the fleet to advance, deploy Battle Formation 7. We will crush whatever resistance they can offer." On Earth, Dr. So-Young Park stood in the Global Defense Command Center watching the alien fleet approach. She had spent years studying alien psychology, learning how they thought and how they fought. Now it was time to use that knowledge against them. "General Cho, the aliens are using Standard Battle Formation 7, she reported. "Exactly as our models predicted." General Haijin Cho studied the tactical display with satisfaction. "They fight like a machine, predictable and rigid. Begin psychological warfare protocol." Dr. Park activated the long-range communication system and broadcast a message toward the alien fleet. But this message was not a plea for mercy or a call for negotiation. Instead, it was something no alien had ever received from a species they intended to conquer. "Confederation Fleet, this is Dr. So-Young Park of the Human Defense Forces," the message began. "We are transmitting terms for your immediate surrender. You have entered our solar system with hostile intent. You have 60 minutes to turn around and leave. If you do not comply, we will demonstrate why humans are the only species in this galaxy to survive multiple extinction events." The alien bridge crew looked at each other in shock. A species they intended to enslave was demanding their surrender. It was so unprecedented that several officers began laughing. "Did they just offer us terms?" Veltar asked in disbelief. "Yes, Ambassador. They are demanding that we surrender to them." Veltar's amusement quickly turned to anger. "Arrogant primitives. Order all ships to attack. Destroy every human installation in this system. Leave nothing alive." Lieutenant Commander Yu-Jin Nam sat in her cyber warfare command center deep inside Titan Base. She was humanity's leading expert in electronic warfare, and today she would unleash weapons that existed only in alien nightmares. Her computers were already infiltrating the Confederation fleet's network, planting viruses and logic bombs that would activate at the perfect moment. "Colonel Kang, their fleet network is completely unprotected," she reported. "They have never encountered cyber warfare at our level. Their computers are like open doors." Colonel Kang smiled. "Proceed with Phase 3. Show them what human creativity can do to alien technology." The Confederation fleet advanced toward Earth in their perfect formation, confident in their overwhelming numerical advantage. They had faced thousands of species over the millennia, and the pattern was always the same. Superior technology and numbers always won. Major Hyun Woo Bae led his Marine battalion aboard the assault ship Daegu, preparing for boarding actions against alien vessels. His soldiers were equipped with powered armor and weapons designed specifically for fighting in the confined spaces of enemy ships. They had trained for years in mock alien vessels, learning every detail of Confederation technology. Marines, listen up, Hyunwoo announced to his troops. The aliens think they know how space battles work. Big ships shoot at each other until someone surrenders. They have never fought humans before. Today we show them that humans do not just fight ships, we fight crews. The first phase of the battle began when the alien fleet reached Mars orbit. Hundreds of weapon platforms that had been disguised as asteroids suddenly revealed themselves, opening fire with weapons that struck faster than light itself. The aliens found themselves under attack from directions they had not even considered. But that was only the beginning. As their ships tried to respond to the fixed defenses, they discovered that their own computers were no longer obeying orders. Yujin's cyber weapons had infected their entire network, turning their own systems against them. What is happening? Veltar shouted as his flagship's weapons began firing on other Confederation ships. Why are our computers attacking our own fleet? His technical officer was frantically trying to regain control. Unknown virus, Ambassador. It appears to be rewriting our fundamental programming. Our AI systems think the other ships in our fleet are enemies. This was psychological warfare at its most devastating. The aliens were not just losing ships, they were losing trust in their own technology. Every computer system became suspect. Every automated function might turn against them at any moment. Captain Seung-ho Park commanded the dreadnought Seoul, the largest ship in the human fleet. His vessel had been built in secret over 15 years, incorporating technology that pushed the boundaries of known physics. Today it would show the galaxy what human engineering could achieve when survival was at stake. All batteries prepare to fire, Seung-ho ordered. Target the alien command ship, one shot, maximum power. The Seoul's main weapon was not a conventional laser or missile. Instead, it used controlled gravitational fields to compress space-time itself into a projectile. When fired, it would create a temporary black hole that would tear apart anything in its path. The weapon fired and space itself seemed to ripple. The alien flagship, a massive vessel that had conquered hundreds of worlds, simply ceased to exist. Not destroyed or damaged, but completely removed from reality. The psychological impact on the alien fleet was immediate and devastating. They had never seen a weapon that could erase matter from existence. Fear began to spread through their ranks as ship after ship fell to human attacks that defied their understanding of warfare. Commander Bo-ra Shin monitored alien communications from her intelligence station. The enemy's radio traffic was becoming increasingly panicked as they realized they were not fighting the primitive species they had expected. General Cho, the aliens are requesting reinforcements, she reported. They are calling this an extinction-level threat to the Confederation. General Cho's expression remained calm. Too late for reinforcements. Begin the final phase. Show them why humans never give up. The battle for Earth was entering its decisive moment, and the galaxy was about to learn that humans did not fight wars to win territory or resources. They fought wars to ensure that anyone who threatened them would never be able to do so again. The alien fleet was in full retreat, their perfect formations shattered by weapons they could not understand. Admiral Veltar, now commanding from a smaller cruiser after losing his flagship, made the decision that would doom his entire species. In his desperation and rage, he ordered an attack on civilian targets. If we cannot defeat their military, we will break their spirit, Veltar declared. Target their colonies, kill their families, show them the price of resistance. A squadron of Confederation bombers broke away from the main fleet and headed toward New Geneva Colony, a peaceful mining settlement on one of Jupiter's moons. The colony had no military value, no strategic importance. Its only crime was being human. The attack was swift and merciless. Orbital bombardment turned the colony into a crater of molten rock. 50,000 civilians died in minutes, including children who had never even seen their home planet of Earth. Dr. So Young Park received the report while coordinating the human counterattack. Her face went pale as she read the casualty numbers. Behind her, the command center fell silent as news of the massacre spread. They killed civilians, someone whispered. They targeted families. General Hae-jin Cho stood motionless for a long moment, staring at the tactical display. When she finally Spoke, her voice was colder than the vacuum of space. "Signal all human forces," she ordered. "Protocol Omega is now expanded to include total response authorization. No prisoners, no survivors, no mercy." The change in the human fleet was immediate and terrifying. Ships that had been fighting with restraint suddenly unleashed weapons of unimaginable power. The gloves were off, and the galaxy was about to learn what humans could do when they stopped holding back. Admiral Jiwoo Yoon received the new orders aboard her stealth flagship. Around her, the bridge crew worked with grim efficiency. The aliens had crossed a line that could never be uncrossed. They had proven that they would kill innocent people to achieve their goals. Now they would face the consequences. "Deploy the space-folding torpedoes," she ordered. "Target their entire retreat formation. I want every ship in that fleet destroyed before they can escape our solar system." The torpedoes were humanity's most secret weapon, devices that could fold space-time to appear anywhere instantaneously. Each one carried a warhead capable of creating artificial supernovas. The aliens would not even see them coming. Dr. Yoon Ji-song sat in her laboratory, tears streaming down her face as she prepared to activate weapons she had hoped would never be needed. New Geneva Colony had been her sister's home. Her nieces had attended school there. Now they were all gone, killed by aliens who saw human children as acceptable targets. "Computer, activate the Reaper protocol," she said, her voice shaking with rage and grief. "Authorization Song Epsilon 77. The Reaper protocol was the darkest project in human science. It created artificial intelligences whose only purpose was to hunt down and eliminate specific targets. Unlike normal AI systems that followed rules of engagement, the Reapers had only one command: find the enemy and destroy them completely. Across space, human ships began disappearing as their stealth systems activated. But they were not retreating or hiding. They were positioning themselves for a coordinated strike that would end the Confederation forever. Captain Dongwoo Lee led his squadron through hyperspace toward the alien home systems. His fighters had been upgraded with the new space folding, drives that allowed them to travel instantly across vast distances. The aliens would never expect an attack on their core world so quickly. "Wolfpack, we have new targets," he announced to his pilots. "Every world that contributed ships to this invasion fleet will be eliminated. No exceptions." The pilots acknowledged silently. They had all lost friends at New Geneva Colony. Some had lost family members. The time for mercy had passed. Meanwhile, Lieutenant Commander Yujin Nam was completing the ultimate cyber warfare attack. Her AI viruses had not just infected the alien fleet. They had spread through the entire Confederation computer network. Every planet, every ship, every installation was now vulnerable to human control. "I can shut down their entire civilization," she reported to Colonel Kang. "Power grids, life support, defense systems, everything." Colonel Kang nodded grimly. "Do it. They wanted to show us the price of resistance. Now we show them the price of genocide." The first sign of humanity's new approach came when the retreating alien fleet tried to jump to hyperspace. Instead of escaping, their ships found themselves trapped by gravitational fields that appeared from nowhere. Space itself had become a cage. Captain Seung-ho Park brought the dreadnought Seoul alongside the trapped alien vessels. His ship's weapons had been reconfigured for close-range annihilation. There would be no quick deaths, no mercy kills. The aliens would have time to understand what they had brought upon themselves. "Open a channel to their fleet," Seung-ho ordered. "Let them hear this." The message broadcast across all frequencies was simple and final. "This is Captain Seung-ho, Park of the Human Defense Forces. You chose to murder civilians. You chose to target children. You chose to break the rules of civilized warfare. Now you will learn why humans are the apex predators of this galaxy." The Soul's weapons fired continuously, tearing apart alien ships one by one. But these were not the clean kills of the earlier battle. The new weapons were designed to cause maximum suffering, to ensure that the aliens experienced the same terror their victims had felt. Admiral Chang Min-oh commanded the Deep Strike Force, humanity's most elite military unit. His ships had already reached the Confederation capital system, appearing without warning in the heart of enemy territory. The aliens had never conceived that a species they considered primitive could project power across such vast distances. All ships begin planetary bombardment, Changmin ordered. Reduce their military installations to atoms. Leave their civilian population alive to witness the destruction of their military might. This was psychological warfare at its most sophisticated. The humans were not becoming genocidal monsters like their enemies. Instead, they were demonstrating that they could destroy the Confederation whenever they chose to do so. The alien civilians would survive, but they would never forget that their continued existence depended on human mercy. Dr. A. Ri Hong worked frantically in her quantum weapons laboratory, preparing the final phase of humanity's response. Her newest creation was a weapon that could rewrite the laws of physics in localized areas. It would make entire star systems uninhabitable to the alien species that had dared to threaten Earth. The quantum restructuring bombs are ready, she reported. We can make their home systems toxic to their biology while leaving them safe for other species. This was the ultimate expression of human strategic thinking. Rather than simply killing their enemies, they would make it impossible for those enemies to ever threaten anyone again. As news of the attack spread across the galaxy, other species watched in awe and terror. The peaceful humans they had known were revealing themselves as the most dangerous military force in galactic history. The Confederation's mistake had awakened something that should have been left sleeping. The war was no longer about Earth's survival. It had become about ensuring that no species would ever again consider humans as easy prey. The galaxy was about to learn that when humans decided to end a threat, they ended it permanently. 3 months after the failed invasion of Earth, the human war machine had spread across 1,000 star systems. What had begun as a defensive action had become the systematic dismantling of the most powerful empire in galactic history. Every world that had contributed ships to the invasion fleet now faced human retribution. Admiral Changmin-O stood on the bridge of his flagship as it emerged from hyperspace above Corvus Prime, the Confederation's industrial heart world. Below them, massive shipyards that had built vessels for 1 million years stretched across 3 continents. Within hours, they would all be scrap metal. Sir, we are receiving a surrender transmission from the planetary government, his communications officer reported. They are offering complete capitulation and tribute. Changmin studied the planet through his view screen. Billions of aliens lived down there, most of whom had never heard of Earth before the invasion began. But they had benefited from the Confederation's conquests for generations. They had grown wealthy from the suffering of conquered species. Response? His aide asked. No response, Changmin said quietly. Begin bombardment of military targets. Leave the population centers intact, but destroy every ship, every weapon, every piece of military infrastructure on that planet. The human fleet opened fire with weapons that turned matter into energy at the quantum level. Shipyards that had existed for millennia vanished in seconds. Orbital defense platforms became clouds of dissipating atoms. The aliens watched helplessly as their military might was erased from existence. Dr. So Young Park had established her psychological warfare headquarters on the captured Confederation fortress world of Nexus Station. From here, she broadcast messages across the galaxy, ensuring that every species understood the new reality. People of the galaxy, her latest transmission began. Humanity did not choose this war. We offered friendship to the Confederation. We shared our knowledge and our culture. In return, they decided to enslave us. Today, you witness the consequence of that decision. The broadcasts always included footage of human weapons in action, ships that could fold space, weapons that could destroy matter at the atomic level, AI systems that could outthink entire alien governments. The message was clear. Humanity had been holding back during peaceful contact, and now the galaxy was seeing their true capabilities. Captain Dongwu Li led his squadron through the Outer Rim territories, hunting down the scattered remnants of the Confederation fleet. His fighters had been upgraded with quantum processors that allowed them to calculate hyperspace jumps in real time, making it impossible for enemy ships to escape. Wolf Leader to all units, he announced as they approached another fleeing alien battle group. Remember, no survivors means no one left to reorganize resistance. The Confederation dies today, and it stays dead. His pilots had become legends of terror across the galaxy. Stories spread of human fighters that could appear anywhere, strike without warning and vanish before retaliation was possible. Some alien crews surrendered the moment they detected human ships in their system. The surrender attempts always received the same response: silence, followed by total annihilation. Lieutenant Commander Eugene Nam had established a new kind of warfare that no alien civilization had ever encountered. Her cyber weapons had infected every computer network in Confederation space, turning their own technology against them. Traffic control systems redirected ships into stars. Life support systems on military vessels simply shut down. Banking networks transferred all assets to human-controlled accounts. Colonel Kang, the Confederation's entire digital infrastructure, is under our control, she reported from her command center. We could shut down their civilization with a single command. Not yet, Colonel Kang replied. Let them see their military destroyed first. Let them understand that their technology cannot protect them. Then we can decide whether their species deserves to continue existing. This was the terrifying efficiency of human warfare. While other species focused on defeating armies, humans focused on destroying the enemy's capacity to wage war ever again. Major Hyun Woo Bae and his Marines had developed boarding tactics that turned alien ships into death traps. His soldiers could cut through any hull material, survive in any environment, and fight in zero gravity better than most aliens could function in normal atmosphere. Boarding teams, remember your mission, he instructed as they prepared to assault another alien command vessel. Capture their computer cores, extract all information about remaining Confederation assets, then eliminate the crew. The Marines moved through alien ships like ghosts of vengeance, their powered armor allowing them to tear through bulkheads and their weapons capable of killing through any known shield technology. The few alien survivors always told the same story. Humans fought like demons, showing no fear and accepting no surrender. Dr. Irie Hong had completed her quantum weapons project, and the results exceeded even her own expectations. Her bombs could rewrite the laws of physics in localized areas, making entire star systems uninhabitable to specific species, while leaving them perfectly safe for others. The field tests are complete, she reported to General Cho. We can render any Confederation world uninhabitable to their biology within hours. The effects are permanent and species-specific. General Cho studied the test results with grim satisfaction. How many worlds can we process simultaneously? With our current production capacity, approximately 50 worlds per day. The Confederation's ruling council met in emergency session on their hidden capital world of supremacy. The 12 most powerful beings in their empire sat around a crystalline table, their usual arrogance replaced by something they had never experienced before: genuine fear. The humans have destroyed 40% of our fleet, Council Leader Zephyros announced. They have rendered 15 core worlds militarily defenseless, and their advance shows no signs of slowing. Negotiate with them, another council member suggested. Offer them territory, resources, anything they want. We tried that, Zephyros replied grimly. They do not respond to our communications. They do not acknowledge our surrender attempts. They simply appear, destroy everything military in the system, and move to the next target. The council members looked at each other with growing panic. They were accustomed to enemies who fought for conquest, for resources, for territory. They had never faced an enemy whose only goal was complete eradication of their military capacity. What do they want? Someone asked desperately. They want us to never threaten anyone again, Zephyros answered, and they are ensuring that by making it impossible for us to do so. Captain Seung-Ho Park brought the dreadnought Seoul into orbit, around the Confederation's primary military academy world. Below, millions of young aliens were being trained to become officers in what had once been the galaxy's most powerful navy. Today, their education would end permanently. Target all military installations, Seung-Ho ordered. Use precision strikes to destroy buildings while minimizing civilian casualties. We want them alive to remember what happens to those who threaten humanity. The Soul's weapons fired with surgical precision, turning military academies into rubble while leaving nearby civilian areas untouched. The message was clear. The Confederation's military was being eliminated, but their populations were being spared to serve as witnesses to human power. Admiral Ji-Woo Yoon reviewed the strategic situation from her mobile command center. Her staff had calculated that the Confederation's military capacity was now reduced by 70%. More importantly, their will to fight had been completely broken. Status of remaining Confederation forces? She asked her intelligence officer. Scattered and in full retreat, Admiral. Most are trying to reach the Outer Rim territories. Some are attempting to surrender to non-human species, hoping for protection. Pursue all fleeing vessels, Ji-Woo ordered. No Confederation military asset is to escape destruction. They chose total war when they targeted our civilians. They will receive total defeat in return. Across the galaxy, other species watched the systematic destruction of the Confederation with a mixture of awe and terror. Humanity had revealed itself as the ultimate predator species, capable of warfare beyond anything previously imagined. The humans were not conquering territory or enslaving populations. They were simply ensuring that the Confederation would never again possess the ability to threaten anyone. It was strategic thinking on a scale that lesser species could barely comprehend. The galaxy's new apex predator had awakened, and nothing would ever be the same again. 6 months and 3 days after Ambassador Veltar delivered his ultimatum to Earth, the war was over. Not because of negotiation or surrender, but because the Galactic Confederation of Worlds no longer existed as a military force. Their vast empire had been reduced to scattered civilian populations living on worlds stripped of all defensive capability. General Hai-Jin Cho stood in the ruins of the Confederation's Supreme Council chambers on the planet Supremacy. The crystalline table where the galaxy's most powerful leaders had once planned conquests was now a memorial to the price of threatening humanity. The council members themselves had died not from human weapons, but from their own hands when they realized the hopelessness of their situation. Final casualty report, she requested from her aide. Human military losses total 9,843 personnel, the aide reported. Confederation military losses are estimated at complete elimination. Approximately 14 billion military personnel across all member species. General Cho nodded grimly. The numbers told the story of the most one-sided conflict in galactic history. Humanity had not just won the war. They had demonstrated such overwhelming superiority that future conflicts had become unthinkable. Dr. So-Young Park activated the galaxy-wide communication network from her new headquarters on the former Confederation capital world. Her message would reach every inhabited planet in known space, establishing the new order that would govern galactic civilization. People of the galaxy, this is Dr. So-Young Park representing the Human Defense Coalition, she began. The Galactic Confederation of Worlds has been dissolved. Their military forces have been eliminated. Their capacity to wage aggressive war has been permanently removed. She paused, letting the magnitude of that statement settle across 1,000 worlds. Humanity does not seek to replace the Confederation as galactic overlords. We have no interest in conquest or empire. However, we will not tolerate any future attempts to threaten human worlds or our allies. Any species that chooses the path of aggressive expansion will face the same fate as the Confederation. The message continued with practical details about the new galactic order. Trade would continue freely between species. Scientific cooperation would be encouraged. But any attempt to build military forces capable of threatening other worlds would result in immediate intervention by human forces. Captain Dongwoo Lee, now promoted to admiral, established the new human patrol service with bases throughout former Confederation space. His fleets would ensure that the power vacuum left by the Confederation's destruction would not be filled by another aggressive empire. Our mission is simple, he told his squadron commanders. We patrol, we observe, we intervene only when necessary to prevent large-scale aggression. But when we do intervene, we end the threat permanently. His pilots, veterans of the Confederation, war, understood the responsibility they carried. They were not conquerors or occupiers, but guardians ensuring that the galaxy's new peace would endure. Dr. Yoonji Song had established research facilities on 12 former Confederation worlds, working to develop technologies that would benefit all species. But her most important project was creating monitoring systems that could detect any attempt to rebuild military forces capable of galactic conquest. The quantum surveillance network is now operational, she reported to the Human Defense Council. We can detect the construction of warships anywhere in the galaxy. We can monitor the development of weapons of mass destruction. We can identify any species attempting to follow the Confederation's path. This was humanity's insurance policy against future threats. Never again would they face surprise attack. Never again would they allow a potentially hostile species to develop unchecked military power. Lieutenant Commander Yoo-Jin Nam continued her cyber warfare operations, but now with a different mission. Instead of destroying enemy networks, she was building communication systems that connected peaceful species across the galaxy. Trade, science, and cultural exchange flourished under human protection. The new galactic internet is complete, she announced. Every species now has access to shared knowledge and open communication. Isolation breeds suspicion. Connection breeds understanding. Major Hyunwoo Bae, now General Bae, commanded the human intervention forces. His Marines were stationed on hidden bases throughout the galaxy, ready to respond instantly to any emerging threat. But their primary mission was not combat, but deterrence. Most conflicts end when potential aggressors realize that attacking their neighbors means facing us, he explained to his officers. The Confederation War serves as a permanent reminder of what happens to species that choose violence over diplomacy. The transformation of galactic civilization was remarkable in its speed and scope. Species that had lived in fear of Confederation expansion for centuries now enjoyed unprecedented freedom and prosperity. Scientific advancement accelerated as knowledge was shared freely. Art and culture flourished as different species learned from each other. But underlying all of this progress was the unspoken understanding that humanity was watching. Benevolent, but vigilant. Protective, but unforgiving to those who threatened. The Peace Captain Sung-Ho Park commanded the memorial fleet that patrolled the ruins of New Geneva Colony. The crater where 50,000 human civilians had died was now a shrine visited by beings from across the galaxy. The message was clear. This was the cost of targeting innocence, and humanity would never forget. Sir, we have delegations from 47 species requesting to establish permanent memorials here, his communications officer reported. Approved, Seung-ho replied. Let them remember. Let their children remember. Let everyone who comes here understand that some lines must never be crossed. Admiral Chang Min. Established the Human Diplomatic Corps, working to build positive relationships with species across the galaxy. But his diplomats carried a unique authority. They spoke for the species that had single-handedly eliminated the galaxy's most powerful empire. We prefer negotiation to conflict, he told a gathering of alien ambassadors. We prefer cooperation to conquest. But do not mistake our preference for weakness. The Confederation made that mistake, and they no longer exist. Dr. Ari Hong's quantum research had led to breakthroughs that benefited all species: faster than light, communication, unlimited clean energy, medical technologies that could cure diseases across biological types. Humanity shared these advances freely, demonstrating that their power was used for creation as well as destruction. Admiral Ji Woo-yoon commanded the Deep Space Monitoring Service, human fleets that patrolled the galaxy's unexplored regions. Their mission was to make first contact with newly discovered species and ensure that those species understood the galaxy's new rules from the beginning. Every new species we encounter learns the same lesson, she told her fleet commanders. Peace and cooperation will be met with friendship and support. Aggression and conquest will be met with annihilation. There are no exceptions. Colonel Min-ho Kang established the Galactic Intelligence Service, monitoring communications and activities across known space, not to spy or control, but to identify potential threats before they could develop into galactic dangers. We watch for signs of military buildup, weapons development, or aggressive expansion, he explained to his analysts. Prevention is always preferable to cure. Better to stop a potential confederation before it becomes powerful enough to threaten anyone. Commander Bo-Ra Shin created the Historical Archive Project, ensuring that the complete story of the Confederation war was preserved and taught to future generations. The goal was not to glorify human military power, but to demonstrate the consequences of choosing aggression over diplomacy. Every species in the galaxy now teaches their children about the Confederation War, she reported, about what happens when you threaten humanity, about what happens when you target civilians, about what happens when you mistake kindness for weakness. As the first anniversary of the war's end approached, General Cho received a report that summarized the transformation of galactic civilization. Trade between species had increased by 400%. Scientific cooperation had advanced technology by centuries. Armed conflicts between species had dropped to zero. The galaxy is more peaceful and prosperous than it has been in recorded history, her aide reported. Humanity's victory over the Confederation has created a new golden age. General Cho stood at her office window, looking out at the stars. Somewhere among those points of light, human fleets patrolled silently, ensuring that the peace would continue. Other species built and explored and dreamed, secure in the knowledge that humanity would protect them from those who would do them harm. The galaxy had learned its lesson. When humans were unleashed, not one opponent survived the battlefield. But more importantly, when humans chose to protect rather than conquer, everyone survived and thrived. The age of galactic empires was over. The age of human guardianship had begun, and the galaxy was safer for it.